Module 9, access control and data. We just now did module 8, in which we actually did pretty much of everything of 8, 9, 10 and 11. So you must listen to 8 to understand my module of 9, 10, 11, because of the fact that I discussed most of the stuff in module 8 itself. So although I'm going over module 9 now, I'll be discussing only those things which are remaining and which I did not discuss in module 8. So please go back and study the module 8, part 1 and part 2 both. Okay. So I'll try to confuse you, Mr. Hafiz. Okay. Let's see how much you get confused. Okay. I'll just try to confuse you. I'll just give you a riddle. Let's see what happens. See, we understood what and which, right? Yeah. Now, what we are very clear. Let's say we want to show him accounts and contacts, related contacts. We'll create a separate view for account contacts and show him there. Show the user, give the user the access to the responsibility which has access to this view, right? We'll make a separate view for account and activity. Whosoever needs access to this, we'll give him that responsibility which is related to this view, right? Mm-hmm. Right. How do you? Okay. Remember when we were talking about which accounts will he see? How will you give him that? Where will he see that? Remember we were saying in a view, in a window you put it. You get all those accounts and put it in this window. You get all those accounts, put it in this window. Remember that? Mm-hmm. But what is that window?
Okay. It will hold that list.
Yes. See, that window, we can also access that. We can also let's say, remember like you guys were saying, he should see my accounts, he should see team's accounts, he should see all accounts, and he should not see any of these, right? Mm-hmm. There could be access privileges related to how Siebel will show is one thing, but where will you see? That is in the view. You will see it in a view, right? Mm-hmm. So responsibility is used in order to show you that view also. What you see in that view, which accounts you see in that view is dependent upon the position. But that my accounts view, you will not see till you have the responsibility also which has the my accounts view. Okay? Making sense to you? So let's say, so I'll give you a riddle. So let's say there is a sales rep, one. Okay? Let's say there is a rep. You should have the access to all the accounts. You must have the access to all the accounts and their contacts, and only his opportunities and not related contacts. Making sense?
Account and contacts, and only opportunity and not
contacts. So in a view, there are usually two applets which correspond to two different entities, like accounts and contacts, something like that. Yeah. So view basically composed of two entities, not one. Right? Can you tell me what all views will you make? So we'll make all these three views. We'll make all accounts because of the fact that he needs access to all the accounts. Yeah. We'll make my opti because of the fact that he needs the access to only his optis. We will not make any opti contact view because of the fact that he does not need to have the access to the contacts of the opti. We'll also make an account contact view because he needs to see all the accounts and their related contacts. So we'll make an account and contacts view as well. So the fact that he needs to get the access to all the accounts and all my opportunities, that will warrant that will justify that we make two separate views. And account contacts, once he comes here, he can drill down on the account and he can see the account and contacts view also. This is how it will work. But the question is how the positions and responsibilities will work in this case. So position is very simple here. My opti means you will make a view which will be based on position. That means that view will take only those records which are created by the person. So that view, that will be a bucket that you will create. All count will show all the accounts which are created by anybody, right? So these are position based views, right? These are the only two position based views. So you'll make these position based views. Now how will you make the responsibility? we will make one responsibility across these three views, and we'll give that responsibility to this guy, right?
Yeah.
That's what we will do.
Yeah.
We'll write these three views part of one responsibility and give that responsibility to this guy, right?
Yeah.
That's what we will do.
Yeah.
Perfect. See, although you are not confused, but I think still it is not clear what I am trying to say. Let's see which and what relationship a little bit more.
Yeah.
See, that responsibility view basically responsibility views gives the user the access to various views. The views could be because of three purposes. One is it shows what, then it becomes very important. It shows what all fields and all that stuff. Second one is what all operations one can perform. Third is which all accounts he can see, which all can see. Responsibility has all the three purposes at the end of the day. But it does not, it does not define which all he sees. It does not define which all he sees in that view. He just defines, responsibility defines that he will see this view. What he sees in that view is defined by position. This position has a very limited scope. Responsibility has a lot of work to do. So responsibility will make you see those views which have the data elements that you wanted to see. Responsibility will make you see those views which will have the operations that you wanted to see, like CRUD operations. Responsibility will have you see those views which will have those accounts or those entities or those data rows which you should have seen, right? All these three things. So let's discuss again. See, this person's responsibility is giving him the access to various views. We all know that, right?
Yeah.
Some of the views are important because they have different CRUDs. Some of the views are important because they have different data rows, data elements.
Right.
Some of the views are important because they have different data rows. Which data? Responsibility will define what all you see out of all these. Access to all this does not involve position. Access to this thing also involves position, but access to all these three definitely involves responsibility. Right? We did an example of operation based views. We did an example of what all data based views, like what all data elements, right? Right? Then we did which data? Rows based views, right? That is my team and all accounts, right? We did what all data elements based views, account contacts and all that stuff. We also did account contacts में भी हो सकता है edit only, one will be editable, the other one will be read only. It is possible. We have two accounts contacts, one editable, one read only. You remember that when I started my company's this thing, you said why there are two my accounts, why there are two. That was the reason. We created two my accounts. We created two account contacts.
Yeah.
Because of the fact we needed different CRUDs. Got it? Now I am a super user. So I see everything. Because I have to design everything, right?
Yeah.
So I see everything. Designed for read-only people, and their labels we have kept same.
Okay.
Right? We have kept the same labels, but behind the scenes they have different names. I know that. You didn't know this, so you were thinking. Okay? So now that riddle is solved,
Yeah.
long-standing question has been answered, right?
Okay.
Okay. So they have different operations. So we make two separate views. What are data elements based views? We have different like account contacts if you want to see, then if you want to see account opportunities, then different. For example, in case of RK, they said that user ID password, this guy should be able to see, this guy should not be able to see. We want to we want to control the access. That means it has to be in a separate view. Is it right?
Yeah.
Account login ID view. Okay?
Yeah.
Right? So this is the way you think. You provide a separate view for that thing, and then you provide access to that on the basis of responsibility. Similarly, which data rows? How, in this case, what all data elements based views? How do you make sure that only those data elements are present here? How do you make sure? Do you need positions? No. What we need is only thing, we need to have the tools. We go behind the scenes, tinker with it, make different data elements based views, right? In operation based views, we go behind the scenes, tinker with it, and make different operations with it, right? Allow different operations in different views. For which data rows, we go behind the scenes again, we tinker with it, but we come in front of the scene also, and then we make sure our positions are correct. So it involves two things. You go behind the scenes, you make sure, in my, you make sure that he sees only the ones which are created by him. That's what you tinker with. But then you have to make sure account data has all these positions also with them. That's why we brought up the concept of position. So this is possible because of responsibility as well as because of position. Position is main for this guy. For all these three, if you want to see a particular view, responsibility has to be there. You see my point? So responsibility governs the access to actually everything. But what you do in them, what you do in them, what you don't do in them, what you see in them is done behind the scenes. If you want to do different things in a different place, in a different view, you have to create two separate views, right? You have to create two separate, you have to give them the access only. If you want him to see only his records, then you need to create a separate view. If you want him to see mine and your records, always, I can create a separate view for that also. That will mean I need to make sure that positions are also mentioned properly for every account. If I want to see mine and your accounts, then I need to make sure that positions are also mentioned for those accounts. So this which data rows will make sure that view is possible. Once that view is possible, then I can give you the access to that using the responsibility. Right? Let's say I want to see first 100 records in the database. That's not possible. So that this view is not possible. So one is the view is not possible. Once the view becomes possible, then we show the view using the responsibility. Right? Other thing is, I want you to get the data depending upon some parameters, which is position based parameters. That means I have to first make the view, then make sure those positions are correct. Everything is correct in the front end. Accounts are rated to the right position. Otherwise, you will see wrong data. If behind the scenes Hotmail's emails, if they get connected, your emails get connected to mine. When I will open, I will see your emails as well. Right? So that should not happen. So positions have to be maintained also in front of the scenes, right? In the GUI. Then responsibility has already given the access to that view, and making sure that view shows the right records will be done by position. Here, the access to this view has been given to the user because of responsibility. But what all data elements he sees, position plays no role. Only tinkering, tools, development work plays role. Here, responsibility has given you the access to that operation based view. It has different CRUD matrix. No position required. By the way, user ID is definitely required. User ID, right?
Yeah.
But different CRUDs. Behind the scenes, only tinker is allowed. In front of the scenes, no, you don't need to maintain any position or anything. Just from user ID, we'll know this guy has logged in. This is his responsibility. He should see this view. Whatever views he sees, he can do whatever he wants. If a new button is enabled, he will see, you know, right, how the responsibility works after that. Right? Okay. So I conclude this thing. I think this should be enough. You listen to it again, you'll make more sense to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to the next one. Why do we? Okay. Now we'll come to a very important concept called as master data and customer data. Let's see, how soon you understand that. Okay. This is a very important concept. There are two types of data, agreed, but there are multiple types of things that we need to discuss in order to understand all this. Okay. See. We discussed that actually briefly. Remember, we discussed that customer data is like opportunities are more dynamic in nature. Accounts and contacts are less dynamic in nature. You remember that?
Yeah.
Right? Includes static referential data such as products and literature is created and maintained by company administrators can be grouped. Okay, let's do that. Okay, let's try to understand a little bit more. Okay. Only
more than okay.
Yeah, every day, like let's say in Pizza Hut, you'll be adding only new 30-40 customers, but number of orders every day will be much higher. So that tells me that opportunity is lot more in number, and added multiple opportunities are entered every day. as compared to accounts, right?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So account is less dynamic than opportunity. By the way, is it more dynamic than product or not?
Yeah, it's more.
Why do you think so? How many new
Product,
products are entered in Pizza Hut every day?
not very many.
Not very many, but new accounts are entered.
Yeah.
Okay, so they are less. They are less dynamic than opportunities, but more dynamic than products, right?
Yeah.
What about contacts? From the same household, do many people call
No. That's not.
at a time? But can a different person call next time? Is it possible that you call today and tomorrow your wife would call and or your daughter
Yeah.
will call, right?
Yeah.
So account is same, but contacts will different account contacts can call for every account.
Yeah.
So is it more dynamic than account or is it less dynamic than account?
More dynamic than okay.
And what about opportunity?
Less.
Okay. All right. Right. This is the relationship between these dynamics. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So these are different types of data. Right.
Yeah.
Let's see some more data. Remember this list of values? This list of values here?
Yeah.
Things like new applets, new this thing. How many times Pizza Hut's that screen changed? The where you are entering the data. Very,
Almost
very
never.
almost never. Right?
Yeah.
So that's like system. Right?
Yeah.
Right? So opportunity is more dynamic, content is a little less dynamic, accounts is even less dynamic, products is very less dynamic. But there are on the other side of the fence there are certain things like system data, LOVs, they do not change much. Right? For
Yeah.
example, applet, we don't enter many applets every day. Like when you're working, like when a person is working in Visa Hut, you wouldn't see many a time, things like this being changed again and again. Right? Like whole system is changed again. Right?
Yeah.
We call this as, this kind of data is called as the system data. Like system is made of applets, right?
Yeah.
Where is applet stored? Applet definition stored where? Where do you think?
Applet definition.
Yeah, database.
Yeah. Okay.
And SRF also does have something, but at the end of the day, it is in the database also.
Okay.
That's where all the definitions are stored. LOVs, they're also stored in the data. So if you see the whole data in the system, it is of different kinds. There are two types of data, first of all. One is out of this whole bracket of user data, these kind of things are called as master data. Let me make sure that this is user data, this is master data, products. There are so many other things which are on this side of the fence, and they are all master data. Okay. This is called as transactional data. Called transactional data. Some people, this is very interesting. You see what you see. Some people say this is all master. This is all master.
Okay.
Some people say no, this is master.
Only the last one. Product.
Last one. Now we have to give the examples of each one. And you have to tell me where does it lie. I'll give you different kinds of data. You tell me where does it lie. Okay.
Okay.
Activities. Where does it lie? Is it more dynamic, less dynamic? And is it transactional data or is it master data or is it user data? Obviously, all this is user data. So, activities. Is it entered by users or it is entered by the developers?
Activities.
Huh? So, it is a system data or the user data?
Activities user data.
Perfect. And out of user data, which one is it? Transactional data or master data or these ones?
Activity. Should be transactional data.
Transactional data. It is even more dynamic than opportunity, by the way.
Yeah.
In a company, the maximum data is of activity because they enter activities every day. For every opportunity, they enter 10 activities.
Yeah.
So that is the maximum. Okay.
Yeah.
Content and account. Okay, I'll give you another entity now. Just think about it.
Yeah.
Literature. Literature. You know what is literature?
Yeah.
Brochures.
Brochure.
Brochures. You know, इसका brochure था ना इसके साथ आया.
Yeah. Yeah.
So brochure is like, which one is it like? Do you think? Which one does it like?
Brochure. No, it's like product master data. Because brochure doesn't change when the product is comes, then the brochure changes.
Exactly. So brochure is pretty much static, and it is entered by users or it is entered by developers.
It is entered by developers.
Users. It is entered in the front end or it is a part of the tools. You know, like you have to develop something or you have to enter the data in the front end. That's what I'm trying to say. You have to enter the data in the front end or you have to enter the data in the back end. You know, data nahi enter.
Front.
Yeah, front mein enter hoga na. That means it has to be set up. Set up. Okay, developers can set it up. I can set it up. But the problem is who should set it up? Users should set it up usually. They will see the data and this is the right product data. But LOBs and etc. they are actually supposed to be entered by developer. That is a part of the development project.
Yeah.
Is it right?
Yeah.
When I am developing a system for you, can I give you without LOBs?
No.
Can I give it to you without accounts? Yes. It is having no accounts when you start working on it.
No.
Right? Because you are supposed to enter that data. User is supposed to enter that data, not me. I am a designer. I cannot enter that data. User is supposed to enter the data. So when I give you a new system, it is not supposed to have new accounts.
Yeah.
You are supposed to enter accounts in that. So does it supposed to have products in it? No. You can enter it. So that is user data. Literature is also user data. Literature is entered by people, by the users. So when they enter that, okay, we will. It's a very hard word to say they should enter it. Actually, we can get it from some other application and put it here. But I am not the generator of that data anyway. Either a user should enter it or I should get it from another application and put it on the very first day of Siebel implementation. For example, in case of RK, he's getting the account data from some place and putting it in Siebel. But he is not generator of data, is he?
No.
Did he enter the data?
Yeah.
He did. But did he push the keys to enter the data?
No.
He got it through from some other system. He was not the one who created that data. Let's say it this way. He did not create those records. Did he create those records in Siebel? No. He got those populated from Siebel automatically from some other system. So account and content data is the user data. Designers and developers don't enter this data. They get it from other system and they push it into Siebel. I'm just trying to make sure you know this entering and data and pushing the data sound different to you. One is getting the data in bulk from somebody else and you put it. You are not the creator of that data.
Right.
You're just mover of that data. The other one is you actually create, you push. Okay, so that is the way. All that is user data, product data. It is supposed to be entered by users.
Yeah.
Sometimes this is not the way it is done. They give it to you in an Excel. So from that standpoint, I am not the creator of data. They give it to me. I again load it into Siebel. I push it into Siebel. I enter it into Siebel, not myself. I am not the creator. I load it into Siebel using the EIM job or something, like a batch job or something. Like the way I will bring it from other system, I will bring it from Excel system. See? So I am not the creator of this data. right?
Mm.
So let's talk about another thing. Okay,
Mm.
so literature, I will not be the entering of data, I will not be the creator of this data, but somebody else is creating it, putting it into Siebel is my job. In case of opportunity, putting into Siebel is also his job. He enters it manually, creates it manually right in front of me. But in case of products, putting it into Siebel is my job. But I'm not the creator. I put it in Siebel manually? No, I use an automatic job, a bad job called as EAM. Siebel's EAM technology I use. I think we went over that, right?
Mm.
So this is what we use here. Okay. Okay. Employees. What do you think? It is very transactional like opportunity and activity. Is it less transactional like contacts and accounts? Or is it like products and literature? So we got one more, like
Mm.
literature. Anything else?
It's,
Employees, what do you think? Which one is
it's
it like?
less than account, but more than product.
Perfect. Perfect. Shall we put it in the master data or not? Is a question now, because that is where our borderline is, right?
Yeah. So we can put in master data.
No, let's go by the industry. What industry does? Okay.
Okay.
इंडस्ट्री पुट्स इट इन मास्टर डेटा. ओके. अब कान को इधर से नहीं पकड़ना, बट मैं चाहता हूँ जरा ठीक तरह से समझ लो. ठीक है. Industry puts it in the master data. We will also call it master data. Although we know in some companies, like in any company, it could be more or less also. We don't care. But okay. So employees. What about users? Login ID, password. That's same, right?
Yeah.
Right. Whenever new employee come, only then we create a new user and password. Positions. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
मैं सारे यहीं पे लिख देता हूँ. Position, users, etc. Right. Making sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me give you some entity. Campaigns.
Campaign.
The enter campaign that will run this campaign for the next 3 months. Is
Yeah.
it transactional data, or it is less transaction than account contact, or is the same as account contact, or same as product, or same as opportunity? Okay, this is how you keep thinking. Campaigns comes like it is less dynamic than product. It's more dynamic. It's more dynamic than product, but it is like equivalent to content and account. Some people include it in the master data. Some people do not. Okay. In general, products, literature, employees, positions, users, these are all master data. By the way, responsibility is also master data.
So how it matters if you put it in master data or not?
वो तो categorize किया हुआ है. In your interview, somebody will ask you, is it master or not? Then you should say yes. You know, ये तो categorize किया हुआ है. इसमें Siebel का कुछ लेना देना नहीं. It's general category.
Oh.
It is helping. It's going to help us study the things further.
Okay.
I'm categorizing this thing so that we can study the things further. But this is not our goal. You know, we are categorizing things so that we understand the things further. Chalo, let's understand the first impact of this thing. Okay. Okay. First impact is that I see is migration. When you migrate data from one system to another. Okay. Let's talk about it. An opportunity is always associated with an account. In general, let's talk about a usual business like Dell's. It is associated within a contact. Let's say I'm putting an opportunity and a contact data. Which one should I put in the database here? Let me tell you how it works. Let's say I put the first opportunity one first, and then I put the account. So first I have to do is I'll put the opportunity, but I cannot put the relationship. You see?
the account.
Then first I have to put. Then the second thing I will put account. Then I will say account ka row ID will be created. New row ID will be created. 1, 2, 3, 4 in Siebel.
Mm.
Then I will put it here in opportunity. Then I have to go back to opportunity again. So why don't I do this? First put the accounts and then put the opportunity. So one of the things is more dynamic data goes last. So activity should go the very last,
Wow.
right? And products etc. should go the very first. When I'm migrating the data, I should actually there are other data also like organization data. We'll go down the line. We'll understand what it is. So organization is the first data to go. Divisions, positions, all this is the first. Okay. By the way, all the accounts have to be assigned to some position. Is it right?
Yeah.
Right. So first position has to go. Otherwise, we cannot assign the account to that position. Then we'll have to go back to account to update with the position also, right? So we cannot do that. So that's the reason we have to populate the tables in this order. This is the very important application of this hierarchy of data. Okay, we'll cover it again one day when we'll understand the foreign key and all those things, foreign key, primary key, database things.
Okay.
We'll do database things soon, and at that time we'll cover all this. Okay. Yeah. There are two types of data according to Siebel. This thing includes dynamic transactional data such as opportunities and orders. By the way, orders is also for every opportunity we create new orders every day, right? So it's less transactional than opportunity, but it is still very transactional in nature because of the fact that new orders keep getting every day, not like new accounts. Right? In case of Pizza Hut, actually opportunity is same as order. They don't have opportunity.
No.
Do they pursue anything, sir? Please Pizza Hut
No.
khaiye. Is created and managed by users of the application. We understand that. Is created and managed both by users of the application. Has access control at the record level. We'll understand that line. Let's go to master data.
No.
Includes static referential data such as products and literature. Referential data that you refer to in account. What did he buy? This. It doesn't make sense to you, right? But just this is what referential means. It is referring, I told you, right?
Yeah.
The less dynamic things are always referred by the dynamic things, right?
Yeah.
That is what he's trying to say.
Okay.
To put the more dynamic thing, you have to first put these lesser dynamic things, because these high dynamic things, more dynamic things, these more dynamic things, they refer to these less dynamic things. So he's calling this as referential data. It's
So
created
more
and maintained by
dynamic
company administrators.
More dynamic should go first.
Yeah. No, less dynamic should go first. Less dynamic should go first. It's created and maintained by company administrators. I will say, forget created, maintained by company administrators, I understand that. But created is wrong, because and creator of all user data is the user. It is created by users only. We do not create, but we enter it. I agree. Product data has to be maintained very well. Literature data has to be maintained very well. Otherwise, the whole application will not work. Positions really define so many things. Responsibility defines so many things also, right? They have to work. They have to work properly. But he's wrong in saying he's created. He's saying basically punching in. Who punches it in? That's not what I mean though. I meant created and creator, the one who actually owns the data, who gave this thing. Okay. So product data is not really created by them. Somebody else creates the data. We get it and then punch it in. Either we punch it in manually or we punch it in load. Usually by load. We load all million of products. They have a lot of products. Every company has like 2,000-3,000 products usually. Although it's a very simple company, mine, but there are a lot of products. Lot means lot. 2,000-3,000 products. Can be grouped into catalogs and categories. Please say that. Can have access control at the catalog and category level. I'll try to. Now we'll understand the last line. We understand last line of each types of data. Okay. Has access control at the record level. Remember we were saying this account, who should have access to this? We put the position to that, right? Right. Account positions were Kathy and Tom. So Kathy and Tom will say. So for every account we have these positions. For every account we have this position. For this account we have these positions. You can see. For this account you have positions. You can see. For this account you have positions. You can see. So for every account we have positions. But right?
Yeah.
Right? But for master data we don't have positions for every record. For example, let's do screens. You see, there is no product team. I go here, I do a columns displayed, there is no product team. There is no product team. Is it right? So that means there is no visibility at the product level. Let's say, why visibility at the product level? Let's say Hafiz should be able to sell only laptops. This guy should be able to sell only, John should be able to sell only desktops. Is it possible to do that in SQL?
Yeah.
With reference to this discussion, so far, no. Looks like no. Because I cannot say this product Hafiz has access to. I cannot say that here.
Yeah.
So once I cannot say that, so Hafiz will see everything, John will see everything. Is it right?
Right.
John will see his account, Hafiz will see his account. Hafiz, when he's ordering, he will see all the products. He'll be really, just think, if you are working at a place, let's say you're working in Tennessee, you want to see only products which are available in Tennessee.
Right.
There are some companies which are products related to states. There are some companies which are products related to specialty. For example, like some products are related to divisions. For example, in my company, they have like professional desktop products, like only sold to the doctors. There are certain products that don't sell to the doctors. They are sold only to the hospitals. So when the person who is selling to the doctors, he goes to the doctor site, he sees 1 million products there, whereas he was supposed to see only 2,000, or he sees 2,000 products, whereas he was supposed to see only 100. Do you think he will like it? No, right? He has to look for his product while placing the order. What will happen? He will come here. He will come to Siebel. He will say, I want to place an order. He will come here. He will come here. He will say new record. When he is entering the new record, he will try to pick the product. Oh God, there is no product here. This person is trying to enter for this account. I told him about these products. He didn't sell it. It's not an order, but he told him about these products. We call it call products detailed. This is a simple Siebel e-pharma process. Okay.
No.
So these are the call products which he detailed. Right. Now tell me one thing. What are products does he see? All these 4 products, or he sees all the 400 products? He sees only those 4 products which are related to him, which he has. Doesn't that make more sense?
Yeah.
Right? Let's see how many products this company has. Okay? I just saw that. See, they have these many products. And how many was he seeing? Only 4. Do you think it was helpful? Yes. Yes. So, product visibility also has to be maintained. If we don't maintain product visibility while placing order, your effectiveness will be less. Is it right?
Right.
You'll be choosing among 2,000 people, 2,000 products, and finding out which product it is. So we come back to our concept of product visibility. Product visibility is also very important. What you see is what you sell is what you want to see. You don't want to see anything else. Is it right?
Right.
Right? So product visibility is also very important. So we go back to this one. Okay, customer data usually has the access control at the record level, whereas master data does not have the access control at the record level. It has at the category and catalog level, especially for product master. Literature master not, position master not. Only product master we talk about. Only the product master data cannot be controlled at the record level, but it can be controlled at the category and catalog level. What are category and catalog? Siebel keeps going in circle actually. He controls it at the category and catalog level means he groups products in various categories and then gives the access to those categories. Making sense?
Yeah.
Then you can say Hafiz has the access to all this category which has all these products. and John has access to this category which has all these products. Now Hafiz will see only those products which he wants to sell, and he will see only those products which he should sell. So this is the way product visibility is done. But a riddle now. Let's say Hafiz sells laptop and desktops, and John sells PDAs and pocket PCs. Right? So there will be 4 product records.
Yeah.
Right? There will be 4 product records. Is it right?
Right.
These 4 boxes represent those 4 product records. Okay? You tell me how will you make sure that Hafiz gets access to pocket PCs and PDAs, and John gets access to laptops and desktops. Sorry, Hafiz gets access to laptops and desktops, and pocket PCs and PDs are accessible to this guy. Can you go to pocket PC and put John's name there?
Pocket PC?
No, because access cannot be given at record level. Is it right?
Yeah.
Is it right? Can you go to PDA record and give the access to John? No.
Yeah.
You have to first combine them. And name it. Right? So there will be a new category record. I'll present it in a better way. Right? Is it right? And then I can assign this record to him and assign this record to him. Making sense?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Okay? This is the way it works. Let's say he needs to have access to 25 parts. He needs to have access to another 26 parts. Sorry. This guy needs to have access to P1, P2, P3. Okay, I'll write it in the Excel now. Okay, so that should be seen by Mr. Hafiz. Tell me one thing. So P3, P4, P5, P6 should be seen by John. P1, P2, P3, P4 should be seen by Hafiz. Tell me one thing. How will you create your categories and this thing? See my point now?
Yeah.
I've just made the same thing in a different manner. Okay, I think you can follow these things. See, so मान लीजिए हाफिज एक P1 है प्रोडक्ट, एक P2 है प्रोडक्ट. ये मैं कंफ्यूज करने के लिए पूछ रहा हूँ, ठीक है?
Yeah.
अब मुझे बताइए कितने कैटेगरीज बनेंगे? So if this is the breakup, even then, so if this is the breakup, then we will make 2 categories. One will have all these 4 parts, other one will have these 4 parts. We'll give Hafiz the access to that category C1, and C2 will give the access C2 to John. In this case, Hafiz and John, there are only 2 parts, and this is the access that we want to give. So we'll still make 2 categories.
Yeah.
Because products cannot be given the access to anybody. If there is only one product and all users, even then we cannot do anything. We have to first make category and then we have to give that categories access to everybody, right?
Yeah.
Right? Making sense to you now? That's what the whole point was. Okay?
So first we have to make the
Category. First we have to make the category, and then only we can give the access to others. Personal, position based, and organization based. Position based access control, you already know, right?
yeah.
How does it help? You, for every record you have a position, and then you have position hierarchy. It helps you in making my accounts, right?
Yeah.
But what is this personal? Personal is least used thing of Siebel. What happens is you can actually give the access at the employee level also, not only at the position level. But Siebel doesn't recommend using it, so nobody uses it. Okay, so you don't need to worry that much about it. Organization based. We'll come across this thing down the line. Let's handle it at that time. Personal access control. It is written here. Records can be received to a single user or a team of users. So it is at the user level, not at the position level. Okay, access is controlled by user ID, not by the position of the user ID, right? So user ID of the user, not by the position of the user, as it was in the case of the position, right? Still, we don't use it, so I will not discuss it much. But you understand the meaning very simply,
Yeah.
right? Position से access करते हैं ना, so account can be now attached to, instead of position, to a user,
Okay.
right? But then it is not used much. Position based access control. Record access is limited to users based on their position within an organization. Position is a job title in a hierarchical reporting structure of an internal or partner organization. Represents a person or group of people that require access to a set of data. Is more stable than an individual assignment to that position. It might change, but a position is static. There is one very important reason of position. Let's discuss that thing. Okay? That thing is, let's say there is a hierarchy. Let's say there is a position. Now you will understand why personal access control is not important. Okay, so let's try to understand that. See, let's say this is a user, and there are some records which are assigned to him. There are some records which are assigned to him. Accounts, right? Optis, okay. Let's say this user goes out of the company. He leaves the company. Now, these accounts can be seen by only this user because of the fact that it was assigned to him.
Yeah.
These properties can be seen by only this user because of the fact these were assigned to him only. These activities can be seen by only this user because these were assigned to him only. He leaves. Who will do these activities? Who will handle these accounts? Who will handle these opportunities? New guy comes in his place. Okay?
Yeah.
He's being replaced. This new guy comes in. He will not see these accounts and optis. He will be having a different user ID, password. So what happens is, we have this position thing here, right? Every record is assigned to a position. Is it right?
Yeah.
Right? Because every record is assigned to this position, and this user is assigned to that position. What happens is, if this user goes, you put just this.
Oh.
So you just change it at one place. Once you change it in one place, all these same things become assigned to him. Isn't it the way business works?
Yeah.
Isn't it the way you would want the business to work? So Siebel is beautiful in that sense. It has accommodated a very important business need. Once a person goes, all the things that he was doing should not become orphan. They should still be handled by someone.
Yeah.
There should be still someone who should be taking care of those accounts, and he should be the person who is replacing him. So position is very important from this perspective also, right? So that's why we don't maintain a user hierarchy. That's why we assign the things to positions. Remember that?
Yeah.
We could assign those to users. Why were those assigned to positions? There is no reason as such. This is the reason. Because when the things are assigned to positions, then when somebody goes, you put new guy in his position, then he will have the access to everything. So none of your data will become orphan, right? Right? And those positions have only names only.
Position can be user too. Or no?
No. These are separate entities in Siebel. Siebel has some redundant entities. That's what I'm trying to say. Position, user, person, contact, everything. These are all people. Same login ID. Sorry, user. Employee, user ID, user, position. These are three different entities in Siebel. So user record is different from employee record. Is different from Position bracket, right? Why do we have this position entity? I will explain you. This helps you when one position goes, when one person goes, you bring the next guy and put him in this position. That way he will have the access to that. Otherwise, what would have done? Let's say this person was working. Let's say there was no position and this person was working and these accounts were assigned to him. Let's say there were 100 accounts assigned to him. So this guy comes in. So the first job would have been Mr. Y. This is Mr. X. Okay, he's leaving. This Mr. Y, he comes in. Mr. Y, can you please first go and make sure that everything is assigned to him, to you? And by the way, could not Mr. Y do that? No, because nothing is assigned to him. He cannot see those accounts. So developers had to do that. IT team has to do that. IT team has to go behind the scenes and make sure that Mr. Y can see that. That's a lot of work. You know how much churning companies have? 10%. 10% attrition rate. If Siebel user team is changing every year 10%, we need 3 Siebel business analysts just for this purpose. Mr. Siebel has saved a lot of things by putting a thing called as position in between. Making sense?
Yeah.
So position, that is a main funda of position entity. Okay? Okay? Okay. So position allows you to do that. So we need now you understand now. Okay. So now let's go back to that. Why do we have one position, one employee rule? Remember that rule? One position, one employee rule?
Yeah.
Now position is very important. But at the same time, if I'm assigning everything to a position, then that position better be held by one person. Because I want to assign to you, but I will end up assigning to everybody who's having same position as yours. Isn't it right?
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I want to assign to only one person. And my problem is, they don't let me assign it to the user. They don't allow me to assign the account to the user. I am a person, I want to assign this account to you. I cannot do that. I have to assign it to your position. Is it right?
Right.
Right? Because of this rule.
Yeah.
Because of this position replacement. When somebody goes and somebody else comes in, because of this, I have to assign it to the position. Now I have to assign it to the position. So I don't want that if I assign to a position, it should get assigned to 5 other people without my knowledge. Right? I don't want that either. I'm just a user, you're a colleague. I'm assigning something to you. I don't want to be assigned to 5 other colleagues. Right?
Yeah.
So designer makes the application like this, that one position is held by only one employee. Okay?
Okay.
So this position is held by only one employee. So when this guy leaves, this guy comes in. At one point of time, this position will not be held by both these guys. Okay? We design the application like that. This way, when Mr. X is assigning anything to you, Mr. A, that is me, I'm assigning something to you. I see your name and I know that I'm assigning it to you and you only, not to somebody else. And I'm assigning it to you because the fact that position shows the name, right?
Yeah.
Employee name also, right? Last name, first name show karta na?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. So that's what the whole thing was. One position per employee. One employee per position. Okay? See, job title is all this is position. People might change, but the position is static. We just learned that.
Yeah.
Right? Employees per position. Some positions have a single employee. Typical toward the top of a reporting hierarchy where a job is more specialized. Some positions have multiple employees. Typical toward the bottom of a reporting hierarchy where a job is less specialized. For example, a group of call center agents all doing the same work. He is wrong. It is allowed in Siebel, but not recommended, just as I said just now. One position should be assigned to only one employee, even at the bottom level of the hierarchy. Right? He's here saying group of call center agents all doing the same work should be assigned the same positions, right? Some positions have multiple employees and one position has multiple employees, right? No, this should not be done. That's it. Because of the reason that I just explained to you. When I'm assigning something to you, I don't want to assign it to 5 other people. Right? Primary employee. When there are multiple employees per position, only one employee is defined as the primary employee for a position. He's just saying something that doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I would never recommend that. But anyway, when one position is there, then one has to be made primary. When one multiple employees are related to one position, then one has to be made primary, and his name will show, right?
Yeah.
Positions per employee. Employees can have multiple positions if they do different types of work or need to see different sets of data. Yeah, he is saying that employees can have multiple positions also in civil. By the way, remember I said one position to employee relationship should be one by one to one, right?
Yes.
Right? Just to let you know, right? Position to employee should be one to one. But let me tell you the truth. Civil allows M to M. For one person, there can be many positions. For one position, there can be multiple position employees. But we don't recommend that. We recommend one to one. I explained you all the reasons. Okay?
Yeah.
He's saying multiple positions can also be held by the same employee, but we don't recommend it. Okay? Primary position. If an employee has multiple position, one is marked as primary. That is simple. Okay? Change position. An employee can change his position. He should go to view, change position, and he can change his position. Okay? Types of position based access control. One or more positions can be associated with customer data using the following types of position based access control. Single position, team. Yeah. One or yeah. With customer data you can with the customer data you can associate the positions. We know that. What is he trying to say? Well, I think trivial. That's not big deal. Team is very important. I just told you all that. All users associated with the position have access to that right. Single position access control. We don't implement this thing. As I said, we don't want to do this. I assign it to vSilver and Mr. This, everybody gets access to that. I don't want that. So single position access control is not allowed. Is not recommended. Okay. Team access control. We know that. We assign it to different people. All users, our team can do internal and partner positions. And partner positions. See, Siebel is a partner relationship management application also. So you can even create positions which will be by partners who are external to our organization. They will access the application through URL, through internet, and then they will access. So you can create login IDs, passwords, and positions for them. And when you are working here for Compaq and I'm for HP, I can assign the account to you also. Okay? And we can have the cross visibility. I can see your accounts, you can see my accounts. We can have that.
But only the related. Only the related one.
Only the related ones. Yes. Vary according to the view in which they appear. Examples: my opportunities view has a sales team field, my account team has an account team field, my contacts view has a contact team field. We know that. I showed you all these three fields, right?
Yeah.
It's here. This is account team, right? This is sales team, right? This is team. Okay? Primary position on a team. One position on a team is designated as primary. By default, the position of the user creates the record is automatically placed in the team as primary. We know that. The person who creates his position is already assigned to him and it is also becomes a primary. One position has to be primary on a team. This is very important because although primary position does not give him any advantage, but in general designer can build rules that this is the primary position, he should be able to delete the record, rest people cannot delete. So he can make rules around that, and there are usually some rules around that. Like here in my company we have some rules like that. Okay. So primary position on a team. How many people can be assigned to one account? Many. See? Right? Multiple. And they will be all not users but positions. And those out of those positions, one will be primary. It is not in general very important, but it becomes important when we implement rules as part of the business logic. Okay? Yeah, see. Out of the box, these are the three things which is available, but these can be easily overwritten. Okay. Organization based access control. Record access is limited to the organization to which a user's positions are assigned. Provides another level of access control at the level of business organizations rather than at the level of individual users. Okay, this is, we just know understood position, right? All the accounts are assigned to that position. मान लो that account is not even in the application. Do you think I will see it?
No.
If it comes in the application, right? This is the highest level of access. This is one interesting level of access. See, this is called as organization based access. What happens is every account is part of something called as an organization. Like now it is part of Zerco PLC UK. So if I, the login person, does not have the access to Zerco PLC UK, then I cannot see this.
So you have to be part of
Organization also. मैंने बोला ना, we have to be that on that position. Whosoever has the access, whosoever is on that position, which is only me, I will be able to see that. Account has many teams with it, right? Account has multiple teams with it, right?
Yeah.
Right? If he does not have the access to that organization, if I don't belong to that organization, then I cannot see it at all. This becomes very important in global implementations. Let's say we implemented one thing at Cisco, so this is the way it went. Let's say we don't want these records to be seen by Korea people, because Korea people are dealing with Korean accounts, and we don't want, and these Americans are dealing with American accounts. They do not need to know that this is the Korean account. Korean should not see their accounts. The sales reps here do not go to Korea to sell. The sales rep there do not come to America to sell, right?
Yeah.
It is very simple thing,
Yeah.
right? So their organization is Korea, my organization is America, right?
Yeah.
For every account also we mention which organization does he belong to, and then I will see only that organization bracket. Okay, you have to remember one thing. This is a very critical level in the sense that one has to while designing the application, it looks very simple, but while designing the application you have to be very sure whether you want to do it or not. You want to create separate organizations or not. You want to create organization based visibility or not. You are very, very serious about that. Making sense?
Yeah.
Making sense?
So you cannot delete or merge that or not.
मर्ज वर्ज ठीक है, लेकिन पहले तो यह कि अगर मान लो आप कब काम करने पे आपको अपने अकाउंट से ना दिखे, इसलिए कि वो किसी और ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का पार्ट बन गए,
हाँ.
तो बड़ी प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी. सो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन लेवल कंट्रोल इज हैंडल्ड वेरी वेरी केयरफुली. So it's a lot of expertise if a person has done multiple organizations projects. Making sense?
Yeah. No, but जब organization name change करती है.
The question came to your mind that if the name of the organization is changed, then will the association has to be redone? I said no. That is true for anything actually. It is for account and professional also, for opportunities also. For example, an opportunity when you are there, and if you change the name of the account, let's say you remove this one, right? Then let's say you are in this opportunity, you go back and you change the name of this account, right? Then you save it, then you go back to the opportunity, you will see that the new name will start showing automatically. As I said, the association is not made with the name. Association is made by some other mechanism, because of which, so association remains there even if the name is changed, a new name starts showing automatically. This is what we call as integrated suite. This is what we call as integrated suite, right? Things are changed there, you don't have to wait for a load to come here and change it. Everybody knows the new name now. Making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So everything, all the accounts are assigned to this organization. If I do not have the access to this organization, I will not be able to see this account. This is the way organization level access control works. It allows you to partition your group into logical groups and then display information appropriate to each of these groups. We discussed that, right? We discussed that Korea, USA, then different groups,
Yeah.
right? But be very careful. You partition it very carefully. It's a great expertise to really know how to partition and how not to partition. Because user requirements are, they will not be very clearly saying that this guy is in Korea, this guy is in this thing, and we don't do any business together. They'll be saying, no, we sometimes send brochures to them. We sometimes get some product shipped from them. Sometimes, yeah, we go to Korea, then you will not be able to decide. And you might end up taking a wrong decision. You may see my point?
Yeah.
So that's what my whole thing is. So organization-based access control is used very cautiously, and it's a great expertise to determine, looking at the requirements, what design to choose, organization-based or non-organization-based. Okay. But you can do that. He's saying, for part of your company, you can have different accesses for different divisions, partner company, an external company. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can associate with single org. Multiple org. All users, you can assign it to multiple organizations also. Review access control mechanisms. Personal access control, we just discussed that. That's not very important. I remember I told you. You remember the reason why this is not very important? All right. Access control and view types. We'll do that one later.
Okay.
Okay.